Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the A to Z English podcasts. I'm John, and as always, it's a pleasure to have you with us as we continue our journey towards mastering the English language.
And I'm Sarah. Thank you for joining us again. We're thrilled to bring you another episode filled with valuable tips and strategies to help you improve your English communication skills.
In our last episode, we delved into the art of asking the right questions, a crucial skill that can greatly enhance your interactions and communication. We discussed different types of questions, such as open-ended and closed-ended questions, and explored how asking thoughtful questions can lead to deeper, more meaningful conversations. If you missed that episode, I highly recommend giving it a listen, as it provides foundational knowledge that will complement today's discussion.
Absolutely, John. Asking the right questions is not just about gathering information. It's about engaging in the conversation and showing genuine interest in the speaker. Building on that, today's episode will focus on an equally important topic: providing constructive feedback and how it can improve communication.
That's right, Sarah. While asking questions is a vital part of communication, so is giving feedback. Feedback is how we guide, support, and encourage each other in both personal and professional settings. When done correctly, constructive feedback can help someone improve their skills, build confidence, and foster a positive learning environment. However, if not handled well, feedback can lead to misunderstandings, resentment, or even conflict.
So, in today's episode, we'll explore what makes feedback constructive, how to deliver it effectively, and how you can use feedback to enhance your communication in English. 1. What is constructive feedback? Let's start by defining what constructive feedback is. Constructive feedback is information that is specific, actionable, and focused on helping the recipient improve. Unlike criticism, which can be negative and demotivating, constructive feedback is intended to support the person's growth and development.
Exactly, Sarah. Constructive feedback is all about balance. It acknowledges what someone is doing well while also pointing out areas where they can improve. This balance is key because it helps the recipient feel valued and encouraged to continue their efforts while also understanding what they can do better.
Another important aspect of constructive feedback is that it's timely and relevant. Feedback should be given as soon as possible after the event or behavior you're addressing. This ensures that the details are fresh in both your minds and that the feedback is directly applicable to the situation at hand.
And it's not just about the timing, it's also about specificity. Vague feedback like "good job" or "you need to do better" isn't very helpful. Instead, be specific about what the person did well and what they can improve on. For example, "You did a great job of summarizing the key points in your presentation, but it would be even more effective if you included more examples to illustrate your points."
Let's also not forget the importance of focusing on behavior, not the person. When giving feedback, it's crucial to address the specific actions or behaviors rather than making it personal. For instance, instead of saying, "You're not good at listening," you could say, "I noticed that during our last meeting, there were a few times when it seemed like you were distracted. I think it would help if you focused more on the speaker's points before responding." 2. The benefits of constructive feedback. Now that we've defined constructive feedback, let's talk about why it's so beneficial. Constructive feedback can have a profound impact on communication and relationships, whether in the workplace, at school, or in personal interactions.
First and foremost, constructive feedback facilitates growth. When feedback is given thoughtfully and constructively, it provides the recipient with clear guidance on how they can improve. This can lead to significant personal and professional development over time.
It also builds trust and respect. When you give constructive feedback, you're showing that you care about the other person's progress and well-being. This can strengthen the relationship and create a more positive and collaborative environment.
Another benefit is that constructive feedback encourages open communication. When people know that feedback will be given in a supportive and helpful manner, they're more likely to be open to receiving it. This can lead to more honest and productive conversations.
And let's not overlook how constructive feedback can boost confidence. By recognizing and reinforcing what someone is doing well, you're helping to build their confidence and motivation to continue improving. This is especially important in a language learning context, where confidence can make a big difference in how quickly someone progresses.
Lastly, constructive feedback prevents issues from escalating. By addressing potential problems early and constructively, you can help prevent misunderstandings or mistakes from becoming bigger issues. This proactive approach can save time and stress for everyone involved. 3. How to give constructive feedback. Now that we've covered the benefits, let's dive into how to actually give constructive feedback. Here are some practical tips to help you deliver feedback that is both effective and well received. First, start with something positive. Begin your feedback by acknowledging what the person did well. This helps set a positive tone and shows that you've noticed their efforts. For example, "I really appreciated how you handled the introduction of the meeting. You were clear and concise, which helped set the right tone."
Second, be specific and clear about what needs improvement. Avoid generalizations and focus on concrete examples. For instance, instead of saying, "Your writing needs work," you might say, "I noticed that some of your sentences are a bit long and complex. Breaking them down into shorter, simpler sentences could make your writing easier to understand."
Third, offer suggestions for improvement. Constructive feedback isn't just about pointing out what went wrong, it's also about providing guidance on how to do better. You could say, "To improve your presentations, you might want to practice speaking more slowly and pausing between key points to give your audience time to absorb the information."
Fourth, encourage a dialogue. Feedback should be a two-way street. Give the person a chance to respond, ask questions, and share their perspective. This can lead to a more productive conversation and help you understand their point of view. For example, do you have any thoughts on how we could improve this process together?
Fifth, focus on the future, not the past. While it's important to address what happened, the goal of feedback is to help the person improve going forward. You might say, "In the future, I think it would be helpful if you could double-check your work before submitting it. This will help ensure that any small errors are caught early."
And finally, end on a positive note. Just as you started with something positive, it's important to close the feedback with encouragement and support. For instance, "I'm confident that with a few adjustments, your next presentation will be even more effective. Keep up the great work." 4. Exercises to practice giving constructive feedback. Let's move on to some exercises you can do to practice giving constructive feedback effectively. A simple exercise is to think of a recent situation where you received feedback. Reflect on what made that feedback helpful or unhelpful. Then, write down how you would have delivered the feedback differently to make it more constructive.
Another exercise is to practice giving feedback in a role-playing scenario with a friend or language partner. Take turns giving and receiving feedback on a mock situation, such as a presentation or a written assignment. Focus on being specific, positive, and actionable in your feedback.
You can also practice by reviewing a piece of work, such as an essay or a project, and writing out the feedback you would give. This helps you think critically about what makes feedback effective and how you can improve your own feedback skills.
Lastly, try observing how others give feedback, whether in a workplace, classroom, or social setting. Take note of what works well and what doesn't, and consider how you might apply those observations to your own feedback approach.
That wraps up today's episode. We hope you found these insights on giving constructive feedback helpful. Remember, feedback is a powerful tool for growth and improvement, and when done right, it can make a significant positive impact on both the giver and the receiver.
As always, we encourage you to practice regularly and be mindful of the feedback you give and receive. The more you practice, the more skilled you'll become at delivering constructive feedback that truly makes a difference.
Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, keep practicing, stay positive, and continue your journey towards English mastery. Goodbye.
Goodbye.